There are many people that I respect and look up to in the fields or the realms of accomplishment that they have that are highly niched down. This could be in business or in athletics or in creativity or something where they really have this singularity of focus that is really admirable. However, the idea of optimizing for one output, which is something that is very, very common to hear people talking about in the business and specifically marketing space, is really troublesome to me. And here's the paradox: many people in the business space, in the marketing space, that make the case for niching down do so and build their argument based on certain KPIs or key performance indicators. They look and say, what is the proof? Here is the proof of why it's so important to niche down. And they list KPIs primarily as financial profit and the volume or amount of work that's produced. And you can't really argue with those KPIs unless those are not all of the KPIs. And here's where there's a bit of a paradox and where I've kind of struggled with it. The metaphor that's helped me to understand this is actually looking outside of the tech space or the business development space and looking at agriculture. And a few years back, when Sarah and I had the opportunity to be able to really just come alongside some farmers and just observe and learn and hear some of what was going on, it was eye opening, kind of mind blowing to learn about things like regenerative agriculture versus the industrial agricultural system or cash crop farming. And you have these two very different worlds. And I'm not judging different forms of creating food. I understand that doing something at scale to feed the masses of people in the world, there are so many blessings to that. And I think there's incredible ingenuity and hard work and creativity and grit that has gone into the industrial food system that I think is really admirable. But along with the industrial food system, there have also been, it's not without its challenges. And here's the metaphor: if optimizing for one output, like the amount of soybeans or corn or wheat that's harvested, and the amount of profit that is generated, if those are your key performance indicators, then everything you do towards that is measured against it, meaning you clear land to grow more soy. You build machines that just deal with soybeans or just deal with preparing the land for that crop. You do all of these things that are optimizing for one output, which, according to that singularity of niching down to one focus with a couple KPIs, is really admirable. You know, the Kobe Bryants of um, growing soy and growing wheat at scale are industrial cash crop farmers. And in a way, they've done what was has never been done before in human history. But the challenge is some smaller scale or regenerative farmers are looking at is they're presenting the idea that it's not just one KPI. It's not just financial return on investment. It's not just the amount of tons of yield you can get off the land. There are ecosystems. There is microbial life. There are complexities that get impacted when everything is optimized for one output. I don't know a lot about industrial farming, nor do I know a lot about regenerative agriculture. But the little bits that I've observed have made me think more about where we spend most of our time, which is in the marketing space, the business development space, the creative space. And I've looked and I've seen the ideology of niching down to one offer, to one client, to optimize for that. And most of the dialogue I hear about that is if you strip everything else away and you just focus on one customer, one offer, one service delivery, and you just go at that, is I feel as though what happens, or what I've observed happen in some of the maybe other agencies or other people trying to do that kind of work, is it seems like the ecosystem of creativity, almost the humanity of bringing the gift of business development or marketing or branding or the imagination around some of the work that gets done in marketing feels like it's lost. It's like the butterflies and the microbial life and the smaller parts of life that were the stuff that you would find in a field around logs that have been decomposing for decades, or marshes or wetlands, or where there's rock and other things, and you have all this other complexity of life. When all of that is plowed away and it's all made to be graded the same as the same soil to optimize for one output, you lose a lot of that. And instead, you have this optimization for one output where the same service delivery looks the same for every customer in every place. The creative looks the same, the copy looks the same, and you have this monoculture. So what's wrong with that if they're making, it's not a real ecosystem, it's digital, it's the business space, they're helping, they're solving problems. The problem to me is that I feel like what I observed when we had taken steps to do that or to test those waters was it felt like the complexity, the ecosystem, the rainforest of the creativity in my life felt like it was being lost. Like so much of the imagination and the wonder of coming into a day's work or a week's work, of going into different projects and working with different people to solve new problems, felt like it was lost. It was all just going to be the same plot of ground with the exact same thing over and over again to optimize for two outputs: volume of work and revenue generated. And so here's the paradox. Where it sits with me now is I think some people that I really admire that are singular in their focus are doing so with a complexity. They have the organic ecosystem and the complexity in their life and in the lives of their team, meaning outside of their service offer, the service delivery, they have this beautiful complexity of hopefully a really good balance of like other ways they're contributing to the world, other things that they're involved in, whether it's with their family, with their kids, with their health, out in at nature. They have that complexity. But when it comes to the part where work interfaces with them, they're like really, really focused in a specific way. In that sense, I think that niching down and singularity of focus can be really good. And I admire that. The part that I don't think is good is where people strip everything away from their life and you lose the time to be present with your neighbor, or you lose the time to take your gift and be able to help somebody who maybe doesn't fit into your avatar, your target audience. Maybe they don't have the resources to be able to hire you. And instead of having the ability to help them and bring light or bring healing or repair to a part of the universe that we are connected to, instead we ignore it in favor of other outputs. And I think when we do that, we run the risk of endangering the complexity of humanity and what it means to have a gift and steward a gift, to be able to help others or really love your neighbor. I love talking about this stuff, and these kind of conversations to me are some of the most beautiful parts of my life. Getting to share that with people close to me, and for people that are interested in it, it's such a treasure to have observed these things in life and contemplated them or carried them, and then get to sort of open up and share that with someone else and have them contemplate it or carry or contribute to it in a way that helps each other to understand the world in more beautiful ways. So if that resonates, then um, let me know.